There's an interesting wind today. The sky can't really make up its mind. It's blue, but it has some hazy white in it. Clouds aren't necessarily clouds, they're kind of just wisp and just filling in the sky with white. They don't really have form or form to them. This morning I went outside later than usual. Had a late night last night with my family. And I went outside and I think it was probably around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And by that time, I'm usually out. And I looked at the field across the street from my house, and I looked down at the grass. And then I looked at the sky and the tree in the next yard from my house. And I was so happy. I was just so happy that it existed. Like all of it. There's just such a beauty to this earth, and we see it so often that we're desensitized by it. We don't really value it. We don't really appreciate how beautiful it is. Just the tree line meeting the sky, the blue of the sky, and how the top of the tree lines move in the wind. I would strongly suggest living on a second floor of a house. You see so much more of the earth. You see the sky more. You see the trees more. You don't really see the ground unless you walk close to the second floor window and you look down at the ground. And sometimes I do. In the evening when the sun goes down, I could see, usually I have one rabbit that kind of lives in between my house and my neighbor's house, and sometimes I see him down there once or twice a week. Well, recently I have. He took a bit of a break, or she took a bit of a break, whatever the rabbit, whatever the rabbit is, right? But yeah, appreciating what is, it's just so important. Not even people, because people come and go. One of my favorite lines from the poem was, "The women come and go," speaking of Michelangelo. I don't even know who wrote that poem, but I love that line. Sometimes I think about Michelangelo back when he was alive, and maybe nobody really spoke about him. Or maybe they did. But I don't think anybody really worshipped him the way they worship him now. Especially when you go to Rome or when you go to Florence. And I think that's a lot like people. It's a lot like life. You know, you don't really worship people, or you don't really worship or value life until it's almost gone and you're almost dying or you're dead. Then I think it really clicks when you fully understand what it was, or how beautiful it was. Same thing with people. One of my favorite sayings from the movie Shakespeare in Love was this playwright died. Guy who wrote plays, he died. And Gwyneth Paltrow and the guy who played Shakespeare, Joseph something, they were sitting by this river, and Shakespeare talked about the guy who just died and how amazing he was and how influential he was to his life. And Gwyneth Paltrow said, I didn't know you enjoyed him so much. I didn't know how great of an impact he made on your life. And Shakespeare said, he was not dead. God, that movie was good. Has to be definitely in my top 5 movies of all time. I love that movie so much. It makes you really miss theater, or acting, or writing. It makes you really miss writing. Such a beautiful thing. There's so many things in this world that are so amazing that you could get wrapped up in. So many different things you could take on. Even shooting a basketball. I know I talk about basketball way too much. When you release, as soon as you release the ball, you know it's a perfect shot. Because you've done it thousands of times. As soon as that ball gets released from your fingertips, you know it's going to be a perfect shot. You know it's going to go right in. It's such a beautiful feeling. Same thing when you write, or when you're talking with somebody and you have a connection with that person. It's such a beautiful connection. There's this book I was reading the other day. I was just listening to the audiobook of it. It's called The Name of the Wind. Very famous fantasy novel. And this kid was talking about his mom and dad who were in love. And he was watching them dance together. And he watched as his father dipped his mother in a dance and kissed her afterwards. And he knew that his mother and father were just in complete and total love. And he said, if you ever feel that way with someone, even if it's for an hour or for a minute, as It's one of the most amazing feelings in the world. I guess in life you just have to try a bunch of things out. Figure out what really truly ignites you inside. What makes you feel alive. And when you feel alive like that, whether it's kissing someone or connecting with someone through conversation, laughing with someone, listening to people, shooting a basketball, writing, playing music, art, soccer, yoga, whatever it is. Define a few things that truly make you feel alive. And that's how you continue to live. You wake up and you're like, you don't want to die. You want to keep living. Life doesn't seem long and terrible and boring and life seems like it has a reason. But appreciating things that you got used to is very important. Alright guys, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you enjoy your Saturday. For all you football fans out there and Army and Navy people, the Army and Navy game is on today. And the Heisman is tonight. Dun dun dun. Alright guys, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Enjoy. Llamas rule.